We're gonna tell you a little bit about where we came from as individuals, because it's easy to see the success we have now and be like, oh, like, I'll never get there, like, those guys and kids, whatever. So, like, I want to tell you guys a little bit about my backstory. My mom had me when she was 17 years old. I'm the only black member of my family. And so, growing up, like, as soon as I started to, like, 5, 6, 7 years old, I started to become, like, aware that, like, my skin was black. And so I started asking my mom, I'm like, yo, like, why am I black? And, like, my brothers and sisters are white. And she's like, oh, your dad died in a car crash in Africa. And I knew, like, even at like 7 years old, I like felt something was off. And so I just like rebelled against my mom. So long story short, by the time I was 8 years old, my mom kicked me out. She ended up calling my grandma in front of me and was basically like, if you don't come pick this kid up, I'm gonna send him to foster care. An hour later, my grandma shows up at my house, loads all my stuff into garbage bags. My mom gave her 2 garbage bags and that was it. And I lived with my grandma for the rest of my life. So like growing up, like I had like a lot of anger towards my mom and my parents, because I was angry that my dad just never showed up in my life. He didn't show up till I was 26 years old. I was angry at my mom because my mom kicked me out when I was 8. I was just this angry kid. So what did I do? At first, I was lonely because I felt like my family didn't love me. I felt like my mom didn't love me. I felt like nobody cared about me. And so I just stayed inside my house. I just played video games all day, every day. Up until the point I was like 14. And then I started liking girls. And by that time I was fat as and all I did was play video games. So every girl that I talked to was not interested. I wonder why. Probably because I was fat and ugly. So I was like, I should probably work on this. When I first started working out, I was like, I don't want to be this guy anymore. You know, I was like, I don't want to be this guy anymore. I don't want to be this overweight, insecure, got made fun of at school, got called tits. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy anymore. So like, I started working out so that I could get away from my old self. And then the more that I got into fitness, the more that I started to realize, I'm like, oh, this is actually like a lot of fun. How many of you guys are like new to fitness? Raise your hand. Good. Okay, you're kind of new to fitness? Okay, cool. For those of you guys that have been in fitness for a while, it's like changed your life, right? Dude, fitness was the vehicle that transformed literally everything for me, bro. When I was your age, 16, 17, I was like 100% going pro with football. That was like my biggest dream. And I wish I would have had somebody like me to talk to you to be like, bro, like one of the things I wish I would have told myself when I was your age is like, you're gonna get hit with adversity, you might get hit with an injury, you might get hit with a setback, but like, don't quit. Because as soon as I was like 18, I got an injury to my shoulder and I was like, well, I guess my life's over now. And I just stopped playing football. That was it, right? So my whole life, up until the point I was 18, like I was overweight, insecure, got into fitness around, 14 to 16 to 17 years old. That's really where my life started to transform, and that's the start of my story. I always feel weird telling the story that like I used to be a drug addict too, when I tell that to kids, because then it almost like gives permission, like in some way, shape or form. They're like, oh, like he's done it before, right? So like it must not be that bad. But like, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like I went to school, like high school, with some kids that are in jail or dead right now because we were all on the same path, and I just got lucky enough to get out of it. Like I was just lucky enough to get out of it at the right time, and then they stayed in it for longer, dead, jail, like addicts still. And this is the thing is like, I think when you're young, like when you're your guys' age, that's one thing that you can literally fully control.
100%.
Like you can literally fully control what you're putting in your body. You can fully control how much you work out. You can fully control how hard you go in your cardio. You can fully control how much you walk. Like that, those are all things that are literally completely 100% within your control. There's some things that you can't control, right? Like you might not have the money to start the business right now that you want to start, Caden, right? Like you might not have that money to start, but if you literally just become a master of the things that you can't control, and you're like, I'm gonna wake up early, I'm gonna do my meditation every day, I'm gonna grind every day, I'm gonna study every day, I'm gonna learn every day, I'm gonna push myself every day, and you just develop those character traits, then you're basically preparing yourself for when the opportunity comes. I want you guys to remember this forever, all right? What you keep up here becomes this. Your thoughts become things. Write that down. Remember that for the rest of your life. Whatever is inside of your mind manifests, and the energy that you give out comes back. And so if you show up every day and you're just like, oh, this man, life, life's so hard. Guess what? The universe is like, okay, here you go. You want some more hard shit? I'll give you some more hard. The universe gives you exactly what you give it. Let's take the universe out of it for a second, because you guys might not be hippies like me. I hope to make you hippies like me by the end of this though. He's not hippie, I'm a hippie, all right? Hippie for life. But like, let's just pretend you guys walk into a room and you like got kid attitude. And everybody you talk to, you give this negative energy. What do you think they're gonna give you back? Negative, right? But if you walk in, somebody's like, how are you? You're like, best day of my life. They're like, why? You're like, just cause it's a great day. How you doing? They're gonna be like, no, pretty good, Maybe they're like, I'm okay. And you're like, okay is better than bad. High five. They're like, what? You know what I mean? Like you control that. And like, if you guys think who here wants to be successful in business, or maybe successful in football, or maybe successful in soccer, right? If you walk up to your soccer coach when you get there and you're like, oh, what's up? Nice to meet you. How you doing? He's like, okay, who's this kid? You get noticed instantly. So like every area of your life will improve when you like improve your psychology. And like, yes, I do believe in like the law of attraction and manifestation and everything like that, but I also just believe in like, I'm going to be a magnet for the things that I want. And when I walk into a room, people are gonna know that I'm there. I'm gonna make myself known, I'm gonna be present, which is why when we got you guys to introduce yourself, I'm like, yo, take up space. When you walk into a room, what's up? I'm Brian, nice to meet you. What's your name? Cool, how you doing? Like, be that guy. Make sense? Write this down, remember it, burn it into your brain. Who are you when no one's watching? Write that down, burn it into your brain. Who are you when no one's watching? I've won 3 fitness competitions, first place in overall. The reason that I won is I know, too busy posting on social media about all the shit they're doing, but then behind the scenes they're snacking on. I'm the guy that's like literally dying, like in 1900, 2100 calories, doing an hour on the Stairmaster, just quietly thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna smoke all these kids. Who are you when no one's watching? That's what counts. All right, so vision. I brought my 2021 vision board because when I had this vision board, I drove a Dodge Hellcat, a Challenger, and I put a Lambo on my vision board 4 years ago. And you guys already know the end of that story. There's one of those outside. So I brought this because I wanted to show you guys, and your homework is gonna be to create a vision board. Can you guys do that? If you already have one, good. Just take a picture and show me next week. If you already have one, you might be able to make it better because I'm gonna teach you guys how I did it, okay? So boys, write this down. Health, wealth, relationships, and self. I believe that those are the 4 main areas of life that provide fulfillment and happiness. I believe if you have your health, but you don't have relationships, then you're jacked and you're lonely. I believe if you have wealth, but you don't have your health or relationships, then you're making lots of money, but you got no friends to spend it with. If you have wealth without health and relationships, if you have just relationships and all your friends are homies and you guys are partying every week, but you're broke as fuck and you're fat, that's not fun either, right? So it's health, wealth, relationships, and what are self goals? Self goals are like, yo, I'm gonna go play soccer in Europe. That's like a selfish goal. And like, honestly, that goal might be quote unquote bad for your health because the level that you need to push yourself in order to get to that level is like intense. Same thing with bodybuilding, right? Bodybuilding is not like a healthy sport. It's like I'm pushing my body to the extreme, but that's a goal that's important to me. So like, that's why it's a self goal. I don't have to justify it. I don't have to explain it to anybody. It's just a goal that I have that's important to me. Does that make sense? So health, wealth, relationships, and self. Now, when you guys are thinking about your goals, I want you guys to create a vision board for the year. Write this down. It's called holy goals. That's what I call it. I call it a holy goal. Like a goal that if you accomplish that, you'd be like, damn, like that's sick, you know? So like, if you guys look at this board, we'll read out some of the stuff. $10 million, that's a holy goal. I wrote that 3 years ago. We just hit it this year. So sometimes, and this is the thing, right? Remember when I told you guys during your workout, you're gonna fail? You're gonna fail during your workout, you're gonna fail in life too. In 2021, I said I wanted to make 10 million, we made 5. So like technically I failed. So I could have just given up and be like, oh, I'm fine. I was like, nah, next year we're gonna make 10. Next year, I failed again. I was like, okay, next year we're gonna make 10. We hit 7. This year we hit 10. So you're gonna fail multiple times in life. But if you just keep the goal front of mind, you're like, I will be playing pro soccer no matter what. Like, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's like, it's not like, I hope this happens. This is like, this is happening. It's an eventuality. What else? 1,500 active paying clients and 150 students in the mastermind. We have 1,600 clients in the main program now. We've got 200 in the 10K mastermind. We've got 160 in the Millionaire Mastermind. So we've surpassed that. 1 million podcast downloads. I actually have 4 million podcast downloads. I said I wanted to have $1 million month. We had $1 million month. We've had $5 million months. That's correct. Iron Energy documentary, we ended up doing that. So like pretty much everything that's on this board has come to reality. 155,000 followers. I have 310. What's up? The only thing I never figured out is TikTok. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. This is what I want from you guys, all right? Like if we can give you guys one thing that you guys take away from like the whole 12 weeks that you spend with us, if you take home this and you actually take it seriously, like your life will transform in so many ways you won't even begin to imagine it's possible. A lot of people actually don't set goals because they don't want to let themselves down and they don't want to fail. Like what if I set the goal of like getting a BMW and I fail and I go for the car approval and they don't approve me? I went for the Lambo deal 4 times. Nope, not making enough money. Nope, not making enough money. Nope, your ass is broke. The 4th time I went, they're like, okay, we'll give it to you now. So like fail, 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 succeed, right? That's like the mantra. And so if you guys take this, look at this, young and ambitious, that's on the board. I didn't even see that. Did you see that? That's funny. Now, how do you make these? First things first, if you go to Walmart, this thing, if you can't buy a board, that's fine. You guys can also get like literally a piece of poster paper from the dollar store that's $1. These at Walmart are like 10 to 20 cents to 30 cents a photo. And then sticky notes. I just wrote sticky notes to myself. So like, it is written, change one person's life today, go to bed happy, $10 million, be present. I will love you forever to my wife. I know, haha, whatever, I'm a simp. So I'm looking for one of these. So print out 2025, all right? And then I want you guys to think about the 4 different areas of your life: health, wealth, relationships, and self. I want you guys to make one of these. Your homework is to make one of these this week before you get back here next week. And we want to see a photo of it next week. And I want to go over it with you guys.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.